just as Doc alluded to, I'm the coordinator of today's program. I'm Chief Lazaro Sinkala. My job this afternoon for now is very simple, just to introduce our presenter, who you all know. Our presenter today is Mr. George Kanyama. Mr. Kanyama, as you know, he's the brainchild behind this program. He is a teacher at and HOD at Choma Secondary School, but currently he's pursuing his MA, master's degree in the UK at Warwick University, where he's doing an MA in TESOL, teaching English language to whatever, other languages, whatever. He's doing that master's. I've just discovered he's actually with Rwendo, who's doing equally her master's in education. Rwendo, education what?
International Education and Development.
International Education and Development. Those are our ambassadors out there. Equally, you know that Mr. Kanyama, our presenter today, is still the Lataz Southern Province chair. Today, Mr. Kanyama is taking us through the Personal Learning Networks, PLN, for teachers. I want to thank all of you for coming back. We are sorry that we took that long unprecedented break, but we can only say we have put our house in order and we are back. At this moment, allow me to call upon Mr. Kanyama to give us his presentation. I'll come back at the end to conclude and map out the way forward. Mr. Kanyama, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Doc. Thank you, everyone, for attending. So like Chief has rightly put it, our topic today is personal learning networks for teachers. And so to begin this topic, I would like to begin with this quotation from African proverbs. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I can couple that with a proverb from one Bemba proverb, which says, "Twende wawili temwenso." Literally put, walking together does not mean you are scared. That is my literal translation. So this simply means in our professional journey, we need other people in order to grow and develop. It does not mean that without others we cannot learn, but there is much more we can learn when we link, connect, and collaborate with others in our professional way. And so this topic is going to delve into ways that we can use to develop our professional network at personal level. So the outline is as follows. So we are going to define what PLNs are, and then try to justify why we need or why we should build personal learning networks, and why are they important for teachers. And then we will look at some tips on how to begin, and also go further by looking at the types of PLN. Then from there, we'll go into those types and conclude after discussing those. So this is the outline of the presentation. Okay, now, defining a personal learning network. Marc-André Lalande defined it as a way of describing a group of people that you connect with to learn their ideas, their questions, their reflections, and their preferences. To learn their ideas, questions, reflections, and preferences. So this group consists of people that you informally learn from and share ideas with, as well as the resources and tools and materials that support your learning as a professional. Okay, so that is a personal learning network. Now, so when we look at the reasons, why do I have to develop a personal learning network? There are a lot of reasons. Number one, these networks will help us locate classroom resources and develop lesson ideas. They will help us find solutions to challenges that we face in our classrooms. They also help us to locate research and news related to our language teaching or applied linguistics issues. They will help us learn from experts and colleagues in the field of English language teaching and applied linguistics field. The PLNs will also help build our digital literacy skills and help us to learn how to integrate these skills in the classroom. Finally, they will help us establish collaborations to conduct research or set up professional development opportunities. And so we need to take, we have these PLNs are usually one available at any time and place you are. You can connect worldwide with educators. You can keep updated with current best practices. They are personalized to your situation. So you choose which ones fit you. And then there is active participation in your learning. You learn actively by making contributions, by commenting and asking questions and reflecting. Then you practice your English skills in many ways. All right. Why the teacher? So there are very many reasons, but we'll focus on just 10 of these, okay? So, like I said in the previous slide, find great lessons or lesson plans. You find resources such as notes and even ideas about conferences. You share your resources and ideas. You follow amazing educators and their blogs. You get support when you need it. You make international connections. Yeah, maybe Loendo and I have reached that one at the moment, but we can make even more. And you flatten your classroom walls. Number 7, you collaborate on projects. You find sound around the clock inspiration and learn the latest trends in education and you never run out of ideas for new things to try with your students or your learners as a teacher. So when you have a functional personal learning network, you have all these benefits. They may not accrue at the, may not all of them accrue at the same time, but they may do so in stages. You can have one or more benefits at a go. So here are the tips on starting up. So you focus on focusing your own core competences and other skills for everyday life or living. So when you start, if you are just starting, just start with at least 2 sources of learning. And always check that the sources that you have chosen contain quality ideas, quality resources, quality materials. And then when you are tired, give yourself a break, do something else. And there was also need for professional account. So create a professional account that is separate from your personal account. Then keep trying. If one resource doesn't work, try something else. Be patient. It may take 3 to 6 months to develop a full peer learning. Some people even 1 year, but be patient. And then always keep lurking. You spend time getting ideas before you start posting or contributing to the posts. And always use the hashtags for searching. They are very effective. That is if it's social media. Okay, so we have 2 main types of peer learning. So we have the face-to-face personal learning network and the virtual one. So face-to-face are simply physical interactions that we have with colleagues, either at school level, district level, at national level, provincial level, or international level. The people that we are able to rub shoulders with. This is the physical, although these we can physically talk to, chat with, gaze, even gesture too, because we are able to see each other, share a meal, and things like that. And then we have the virtual, which is simply one that we develop through the digital platforms. So if you look at this diagram here, so we have curriculum documents. These, you can access them either in hard copy or in soft copy. So these are like the curriculum framework, the syllabus, and many other examiners' reports, those documents. They help us learn something about our teaching. Then we have colleagues, people that we work with in the same school, in the same district, in the same province, or in the same country, and those beyond our borders. Then popular media. So here, there are things you can learn from the media. It could be newspapers that do something about, or print something about learning, or about teaching. It could be television or radio. And then we have print and digital resources. This is where the virtual one comes in. And then we have family and local communities. These are also physical. So now let's look at the face-to-face. So face-to-face has 4 faces. The the phases or the means that we can grow our face-to-face or develop our face-to-face personal learning network. Okay, number one, we have lunch and learn. Okay, you bring your lunch and feed your brain. So this strategy or step is where, as participants, you share a meal while discussing topic of interest. It could be classroom management, a difficult topic. It could be composition writing. It could be a research topic or any topic of interest in your field or in your school. And mostly these are done with colleagues at the same school, okay? So these you do mostly with the colleagues in the same school, and sometimes maybe it can involve colleagues from a nearby or a neighboring school where you don't have to travel for a long distance. So you meet up. Now, the word lunch should not deceive us that it's just at lunch. No, this one can be in the afternoon after classes. It could be any time that is convenient. And these lunch and learns can be held in any of the free school buildings. Okay, so, and sometimes if there is a quiet place at a restaurant, but in most cases, this is where each one brings a meal and then you share. It could be under a tree somewhere around the school ground, and you make it like a picnic, or it can be somewhere away from the school campus in the serene area of a nearby park. You go there, sit, have a meal, and there the discussion is centered on a particular topic of interest. If you are to use school facilities for such lunch and learns, of course, you may need to involve administrators here and there to make sure that during that time, the room is not disturbed. You are given, and then from there, we have what we call the peer observation group. Peer observation group. Now, peer observation, I think observation itself, as the word comes out, it always reminds us of either HODs, heads, or deputy heads, or inspectors from the Ministry of General Education, or Ministry of Education now. And so it has, for some, the word observation or lesson observation or inspection has a negative connotation in our minds, because it's something that we feel people who come to observe us come to find faults. And as a result, we may not be ourselves. But it's actually, if you flip the coin, it's actually a good thing. You cannot even arrange as teachers, you team up to observe each other's lessons on a selected topic, okay? You can just decide, okay, we have, sometimes it's easier to learn from a colleague. So you ask each other and agree mutually that you are going to observe each other, and whatever findings we are going to find or come up with, we are going to reflect on them individually and collectively, so that we improve our teaching, we improve our classroom output. And so make sure that there is the confidentiality, there is also mutual agreement. And if somebody doesn't agree to take part, it's their prerogative. You cannot give them a cold shoulder. That doesn't make them less of a colleague if they decide not to be part of it. And so this one is mainly based on mutual agreement. We would like to observe each other, and you observe each other. This one is teaching today. you just have to make sure that the observations are honest and objective in order for your friend to improve. You can also improve something from observing your friend, even as you critique. All right. So there's the observation cycle. All right. Then from there, you can move to what we call research or action research group. When you move from peer observation group, you can go to now action research group. So this is where you decide that, okay, maybe we can, if the problem is bigger or even smaller, if peer observation does not help, or you can pick from peer education or observation, you pick some aspects that you need to probe further, then you can employ action research method. So this is simply a reflection-oriented system or systematic approach in identifying and exploring problematic areas in our teaching practice. So we have this cycle here. So step one, you refine. So probably after this observation, you came up with problems that you could not have answers to. So from your reflection, you formulate questions. If probably you were, if you were, let's say, observing someone teaching an aspect of composition, and then you discovered either the learners were not enthusiastic enough, they did not participate fully in the lesson, and even when it came to testing or assessing, the learners did not hand over or hand in the books in totality, like some did, others didn't. And so it raises a lot of questions. So you refine those questions and formulate research questions from there. So you can have the whys, the what, and the how. Okay. What is it that makes my learners not actively but participate? Why is the writing or composition important? And how do my learners view composition? Is it something they view difficult or waste of time and so on? So you refine those into research questions. Then in step two, you now develop a research plan. Now this you can do either as an individual or you can do it as a group of teachers or a pair as colleagues who observed each other. And then from there, you go through the research cycle now. So after devising a plan, then you start collecting data. Okay, you collect and work around and form peer support groups. And then you go down personal observations and so on. And then you come to a group. Then you analyze the data. It will give you some information on how the learners probably to give you a picture of answers to okay, sorry, we have Faith. Please mute your mic. All right, so as a group afterwards, you reflect now. You analyze the data that you collected from the learners, from colleagues, to understand the reasons behind learners' apathy where composition is concerned. All right, then from there, there's another step which also may involve this one, the group grows bigger. you move away from your local station, your station of placement. So there is this interface that is provided by you attending or participating in a district, provincial, or national conference. This is another opportunity for face-to-face PLN development. By attending, so some people just by attending a conference, they learn something. Others may learn more through participation. Now, participation comes in various ways. You can participate in organizing, you can participate in making a presentation, you can participate in question and answer, or in contributing to the discussion at the conference. All those are forms of participation. So these are the four major ways that we can have face-to-face PLNs. Now, let's try to expand the aspects of face-to-face PLN using professional support networks and associations. Now, it is important that as a teacher of language, you join a professional support network or an association and attend meetings, workshops, and conferences. A lot of us have benefited from these association engagements. Personally, I am here where I am because of this network at a subject association level. And so, as a teacher, you must be on the lookout. Even in your own local area, you should be able to know who is if you are in a district, you should be able to know who the district leaders of the association are. You must know in the district who are the experts in a particular language area. For example, if you have got examiners in English paper 1 or examiners English paper 2, examiners in literature, examiners in Zambian language, those you must know who they are and where they are found. So in case you need them for a particular form of assistance, it could be how to teach or how to assess a particular element in which they are experts in. You can simply make a call or pay them a visit. So it's important that you have this professional support network within your locality at first, and then expand it like a spiral outside. Okay, so so we have, as in the country, we have LATAS for teachers of languages, and beyond our borders, LATAS is a member of the IATEFO, which is the International Association of Teachers of English as a Foreign Language. We are also associates of Africa TESOL, which is teaching English to speakers of other languages. And so these can help us in expanding our network. Okay, so what we get from these associations is that, one, we learn who the international and local experts are on certain topics in English language teaching or applied linguistics. They also help us to sample current information on variety of teaching English as a foreign language topics, focus on what interests you, and also what affects your classroom practice. So these associations help us in this way. They help us to reconnect with members of our personal learning networks that we haven't seen or interacted with in a while. So you may also get to meet people, like new people for the first time. and then they help us learn about new technological tools and resources that can help us connect with other teachers. They also develop our expertise, okay, and share members. All right, they also, now, apart from joining, okay, in this slide, we're talking about joining. Then there is, when you join, then there comes a time when you should take an active role in your network or in the association. So there are many opportunities that you get from participation other than just joining, okay? So when you join and then now take on an active role, the PLN, at this association level, will help you. But for you to take your active role, you can do it in these ways, okay? Number one, you can share your expertise and classroom experiences by presenting at a conference or a workshop. This is one way of others learning your expertise. If you are just for lack of a better term, a passive member who is just there, you just joined and that's it, people may not know how much you have to offer. But if you take an active role, like volunteering to share your expertise or your classroom experience from which others can learn, it could be at a workshop or at a conference within the district or within the province or within the country, it is one way that you should consider doing. And then also writing an article or about a teaching tip for an organizational newsletter. Now, it's a pity, as LATAS, we haven't been very aggressive in terms of producing a newsletter that would help share views, teaching tips, and articles from various parts of the country. Probably that's one area that we need to attack as we go into the next year. And then you can also do so by participating in online or face-to-face discussion groups that are hosted by the organization. Okay, one of those is this one we are having right now. This discussion we are having, just participating in it, it's good for your PLN development. And then volunteering at an organizational event, it could be at a conference, at a language fair, or whatever the organization is doing, you volunteer to be there to do something. By taking that active role, people will notice your willingness, they will notice and ask you to help in here and there, and you are growing your network. By maybe you can be a presentation proposal reader, so you evaluate before a conference. By joining a committee or a special interest group that is focused on ELT specific topic. Okay, it could be on computer-aided language learning, academic writing, English as secondary language, and so on. Then you can even take on a leadership role in the organization. This is also another way of taking an active role. The third component of using the associations or support networks within to develop your personal learning network is that to encourage your association to make connections with other organizations. You can, so wow. Here, how do we do it? Okay.
Yes.
With
yes.
EFL teachers from other regions or neighboring countries by establishing association partnerships. Well, So besides our partnership, like as LATAS, besides our partnership with IATEFO and TISO, Africa TISO, we also need to partner with others in neighboring countries. For example, we have Congo DR there. They have an association called GLASS, and Tanzania also, although they have two, one for the mainland, the other one for Zanzibar, the islands. And so when you are in there, you help the association by making these connections to other organizations outside the country. We also have a connection with the Eastern Cape from South Africa. Those of you that attended the 2018 conference in Nakonde, you remember Kaya, the presenter from KZN, from South Africa. That one is a LATAS connection within the region, okay? Then collaborate with the non-English language organization, teaching organizations, other associations, for example, other subject associations within. We need to have all these. I remember before I left the country, we had a collaboration with the Ministry of Health in translating some materials for art treatment, I think, something like that. And so it helps to grow your network also, because through that engagement with the Ministry of Health, the next time they need anything bigger to be done, they have contacts within our association where they can just make a call that we need such people to do such work, and people's networks will grow just like that. All right, so that's about physical or face-to-face professional learning networks. So let's come to the virtual, okay? So the word virtual is something that we cannot touch, but we can. So it's a use of all digital platform which a teacher has to access learning, such as social media platforms. So we have WhatsApp, we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, we have Twitter, we have WeChat, we have Telegram, and etc., etc. So these platforms, they are also a source of learning. Yeah, most of us use them mainly for, I don't know, what can I call it? Socialization. Okay, socialization is a form of learning, but some people use them also for their own professional development. Our WhatsApp group for LATAS National is sometimes it gets very busy because we have a lot to discuss in there. And it's that it can only accommodate 257 members at a time. And until people exit willingly, we cannot, or maybe they abrogate the rules of the group, we cannot take on any new members. But there is an advantage. Places like Facebook, there is no limitation of how many can be members. You can search LATAS or Language Teachers Association. We have a Facebook group plus page. LinkedIn, I think there should be something there. Twitter as well. And Telegram. Telegram also is there. It has about 200 or so members also. Some of them also come from the WhatsApp group. But the beauty about Telegram is that it can go up to 10,000 plus members. Okay, so those are social media platforms that we can use as digital peer learning platforms. We also have video conferencing tools like Skype, Zoom that we're using now. We have Microsoft Teams, we have Duo, and Google Meet, and so many others. Those we can use. Those of us that are in school right now, we have, in UK, most universities are using Teams, Microsoft Teams, because we are using what they're calling a blended approach to teaching. We have some programs online, others are done face-to-face. And then we have mailing services like Gmail, Yahoo, iMail, Hotmail, and the rest. And video resources sites like YouTube, Vero, and we have blogs like Blogspots and so on, websites like IATFO and so on. Then we have search engines like Google, Google Scholar, Bing, and so on. So these are virtual. So we have blogs, podcasts. Nowadays, there are even podcasts, people who broadcast discussing certain topics. And then we have webinars and live streaming. Okay, newsletters. This is one area we haven't been doing so well as Latas. Of course, these are the ones I was talking about. Okay, so each one of those has got pros and cons. So we have the resource. The second column is pros, and then the other one is the cons. So, for example, Twitter. So it has a highly active education community and a lot of interaction and sharing, live chats on the wide range of topics, and follow hashtags using TweetDeck. The problem is this constant flow can be quite overwhelming to sort out. And sometimes it has a learning curve. You have to learn how to use it first before you can enjoy the benefits. Okay, and another probably con is that Twitter, what is posted on Twitter, they're just short ones. It will just lead you to another part. It has limitations in posting. So it will only give you a snippet of it, and then you have to follow another link to go to the main idea or to the main article. Okay, then we have web pages. Okay, these they have less changes, and you don't need to develop so much familiarity with them. They allow you to download materials. They may, okay, some may, others do not. Okay, and then they can save pages for offline use. So you can save a page so that you can use it offline if you want to use it in the future. The only two problems are that one, sometimes they will have adverts that are quite irritating and destructive. You may end up being distracted when you're concentrating on something. Searches are limited to what is available in the web page. Even if when you search, you will only find what the page has. You will not find everything that you want. Facebook, very interactive, does many interactive education communities, but as is there as well. You can have specialized groups that allow you to connect personally. So you can find a group member, and from their contributions in the group, you can make a new link for yourself. And it's easy to get distracted though, and you get buried in feeds. So because Facebook has many things, it's very easy to get distracted. And then you, maybe while you are on trying to read some professional comment, you receive a message in Messenger from someone, and it's something social, you get distracted, your concentration is gone. Okay, and groups are only as good as the individuals participating in them. There are sometimes when you find the groups are quite irritating because someone is posting things to do with, I don't know, I call them scams, but people start advertising how they make money on Bubu. I don't know, it's Bubu or something. Then we have YouTube, which has got authentic materials that are it's got engaging teaching tips, a variety of accents with subtitles. However, it uses a lot of data and you may not be able to download unless you know you need to learn how. Okay, you can download from, but you may not do it if you do not know or you do not have sufficient data. Okay, sometimes content may not be appropriate to one's context. Okay, all right. So the benefits of virtual PLN, okay, you have opportunities to reflect, find informational support, sharing your expertise and ideas. You can have modeling how to be a master learner and developing a professional reputation and identity. These are the benefits, okay. So what are the building blocks? I already talked about these in the table, so I'll not labor so much, but they are important. Okay. All right. Now let's look at how to build. So there are always concerns when trying to build the virtual PLN. Now, one of the concerns is that there are so many options. So where do I begin? Okay, so the first thing to do is find your purpose. Define your purpose. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to learn as an individual? Do you want to learn how to use a new technological tool? Do you want to develop your methodology or learn a new method of teaching a particular topic? Do you want to improve your research? So define your purpose. Know what you want to achieve from the PLN. Then you have somewhere to begin from. Okay. Then the second part is start small. If you want to begin with blogs, for example, don't start with 20 blogs, just 1, 2, 3 blogs. Probably when you get bored with them, you may want to expand, but don't start with 20 blogs that you cannot finish reading within a day or within a week. Remember, you have other work to do. You have classes to teach, you have school if you're in school, you've got a family to look after, and so on. So just begin small. And if you're beginning with a platform or an organization, start with one. Then you build on. So a journey of 1,000 steps, begin with one. So you start with a step. Don't jump from where you are to step number 5. Okay, then observe. Sometimes you can sit back, watch, and learn how people, so if you join a group, for example, you join our Latas group on WhatsApp, before you make your first contribution, after you have been welcomed, you watch, observe how people make contributions there. What contributions are frowned upon, or what posts are not acceptable. So you must, sit back and watch. Okay. Then you spiral slowly. You start, you find 1 or 2. After you have found this group, Now you find connections within the group. The second layer, if you have joined an organization, you now start spiraling, you go to the next layer of contacts. Next, share. Now that you found your purpose, you started small, chose a blog, or you chose a platform and you joined it. You sat back, you also watched and observed how they do it. You have spiraled and made contacts of those that are within that blog or that organization. Now you can share, okay? Contribute. Maybe there's a topic under discussion. You can just throw in your experience there, what you experienced regarding that particular topic, and you see the reaction from people. Next, you go to your expertise. Okay, after sharing, then you can curate. Curating means sieving. Not everything that you receive from a blog or from a platform or what is useful. You should be able to receive the data you have received, the resources you have received, compile of some sort, and then remove what is not useful and only keep that which you need for use in the next. Okay. Next concern is I do not know the tools. I do not know the tools and I don't know the rules. You have joined, you do not know the rules. Okay, so number one, find tutorials. You find a tutorial. If you don't know how to use YouTube, find a tutorial. If you do not know how to use Zoom, for example, if you do not know how to use WhatsApp to create a group or to share, find a tutorial. If you cannot find a tutorial, ask, okay? So you can use the internet to find tutorials on how to use these e-platforms. And even most of them offer courses, okay? And mentor. Yeah, find a mentor. It's important. So a mentor can help guide you learn to use a new platform by pointing out helpful resources, reviewing your contributions, offer support and advice, increase your exposure on a platform by liking or favoriting or sharing or retweeting whatever you have shared. They'll give you a thumbs up. For example, if you make a brilliant contribution on a platform, your mentor will concur and give it a thumbs up, and that is a good thing. Okay. Concern number about the rules. I do not know the rules. Okay. The same one, number two. Now, social norms. You must learn the social norms or the rules of the group. Okay. By this we mean, number one, levels of formality. In some groups or blogs, there are mainly 3 layers of formality, okay? And we have informal, semi-formal, and formal. So the language that would be acceptable in one context or in one platform may not be, or may be inappropriate in another. So you have to learn the rules of each platform you have joined. So we can look at how people address each other or they want to be addressed in the group. It's important, okay? Then you also learn what kind of content is shared in that particular group. I remember there's a news group for discussions that I belong to on WhatsApp. They do not allow sharing links that do not come from their website. So if you are to share a story, you can share a picture or a few other things and the text. But if you share a link, you will be removed from the group unless you realize it's quick enough and then you apologize and delete. If you don't, they will remove you from the group. So you look at what is allowed, what kind of content is allowed in this group. In our TAS group, we do not allow political and vulgarities and so on. Those are part of the social norms. Okay. Then you also look at interaction patterns. What interaction patterns are allowed? For example, how to respond to a post. Okay. Do you respond to everything or just some? In what manner are you supposed to respond? Are you just supposed to like or comment or use an emoji or follow? Or do you have to respond privately or publicly and so on? There are such rules. In some very strict groups, they even publish what they call code of conduct, a COC for the group. And so you need how to react to reactions to your contributions. How do you react? Do you say, oh, thank you, or what? Or you just like or show an emoji and so on. Okay, the next one is how long? So the amount of or the content you share, how long, for example, are effective posts? Do you have to share? In Zambia, we have a reading problem. People don't like reading long things, long texts. I don't know, maybe that's a topic for research as to why. But how long should an effective post or comment be on a particular topic? And so, well, in our LATAS platforms, we don't really restrict on the length of one contribution, as long as it is on the relevant topic that has been. Okay. And then when it comes to maintaining your virtual PLN, the next concern is network fatigue. How do I deal with network fatigue? Because I do not have time for this thing called network whatever. So personal area network, personal learning network, I do not have. So how do I deal with this? And so you have to use these 4 strategies. Number 1, use only dead time. So for personal learning networks, just use the time that is when you are not busy with other things. Don't kill yourself. And then secondly, set what we call bite-sized goals. Do not set too huge goals like balloon, just small that you can handle. And then the next one, make specific appointments with yourself to work on the goals. and you treat each an appointment with yourself as you would treat an appointment with anybody else. So when you have made the bite-sized goals, make sure you make appointments to meet those goals. Appointment with yourself. That means this same date time, that is your appointed time. Okay. Then concern number 2, the fear of missing out, also known as FOMO. There is this anxiety. So FOMO is anxiety that one has, which is caused by the fear of missing out on social event or any other positive experiment or experience. So especially one that you have heard about through social media. So there are these things that you don't want to be left out. You know, it's a problem. Some people might find it abnormal, but it's a natural thing. Okay, some people naturally have FOMO. They have this condition, social anxiety, which they desire not to be left out. Like they just want to be the ones spreading the trend, whatever is trending. So as a result, they are on this platform, that platform, this platform, that platform. They have everything on there. How do you deal with this? Okay, so one, it is important that you unplug yourself and reevaluate how you are using your network. Sometimes it can be detrimental to yourself. So it is not going to feel neglected if you take a break, if you need to. Just decide how much and how often to engage in your PLN. It shouldn't be a rule to run your schedule. Okay. I'm almost going to the end. Concern number 3, we have what we call the echo chambers. Okay. Now, an echo chamber is when your PLN or personal learning network constantly mirrors your beliefs or repeats the information or sources in your network. Okay, this is when it is so you have something like an insulation that receives information. Okay, a descent filter and distractors. So such that when this information, whatever information comes, this immunity, the immune area becomes activated. You doubt the information, whatever information comes, it goes to confirmation here. So you remain a closed individual. You only tolerate information that has that cements your beliefs. You are not open. So avoid what we call echo chambers. You must seek out diverse connections that won't always agree with you. Okay, people that will not always cement what you already believe in. Try to connect with people with divergent views from yours. Those are the ones that will help you grow because you have new knowledge. These others will just be cementing what you already believe in. So be careful with the what we call echo chambers. So you use your PLN to connect with teachers in different cultures and contexts, explore alternative opinions, and examine new or controversial issues in English and language teaching or applied linguistics. So you must have know or be careful with echo chambers. Okay. All right, concern number 4, overgrown networks. Sometimes the networks may be overgrown. How do you deal with this? You have so many connections that are very difficult. You become fatigued. or network fatigued, okay? You must, once in a while, schedule what we call an occasional network cleanup, where you remove unneeded contacts, tools, and resources that aren't directly helping you reach your professional development goals at the moment. You can't hurt the virtual networking tools feelings, okay? If it isn't working for you, don't be afraid to let go of it, okay? Then number 5, how to manage network of networks, okay? All right, so when you have so many networks, like you have so many platforms, virtual platforms that you have, so consider using what we call an aggregator, okay? These applications here are called aggregators: Flipboard, Symbaloo, Feedly, and Hootsuite. There are many others. So what these do is that, for example, if you are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and let's say Instagram. So if you have installed Flipboard on your phone, then you can bring this into one. So you only need to open Flipboard. When you open Flipboard, you can read everything that has come from Twitter, from Facebook in just one app. So these are called aggregators. So they are tools that let you monitor several networks resources from one place, okay? So these are the ones you can use, okay? Then, so these are the 21 things that you do to grow your network. There are many, okay? So these are the things about in the previous. This is just a summary of the things that you need to, grow your network. Okay, then we have, so let me conclude by saying, in summing up this presentation, learning how to find, establish, and use the connections and tools in your face-to-face or virtual PLN can take time and patience, but investing this time in them will help you to maximize the benefits your networks can offer. So be sure to try them out. The tips that we have offered in the presentation up there, you can work with others and set realistic goals to get your own PLN off the great start. Now, these PLNs are great too. For life, we call learning is a lifelong process. It doesn't end. We continue learning. And so using these PLNs, this tool is very, very effective. And every professional can utilize them to expand their horizons and broaden their expertise, okay? Now, just like teaching, the career is a choice that each one of us made to take. Building and developing a PLN that will help us grow is also our personal responsibility. We owe it to ourselves to grow as professionals, okay? And it is us to make a noticeable mark in this profession. We do not need anybody, not even TCZ and their CPD framework, to coerce us into forming our own personal learning networks. Okay, so these are the useful links and some references. I say thank you for listening and God bless you. Chief, we can now revert to question and answer.
All right. Thank you so much, George. Thank you so much. This was indeed very enlightening. This was an eye-opener to most of us. I was just chatting in the sidelines with someone saying, even at my level, I've never known how to connect myself and move on. This indeed has come timely, and indeed, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now open for the plenary discussion. Any clarifications, any contributions, anything that you'd want to add, subtract, or just inquire. This is the time. You unmute yourself and then video yourself and make a contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, any clarifications, any contributions, questions? Unmute yourself and video yourself and make a contribution.
There is a hand there.
That is a hand from Doctor.
Thank you so much, Chief, for this chance to speak.
And video yourself, Doc.
Okay, I'm not on video.
Okay.
I was saying thank you so much for the presentation. I can share that, and the presenter, lack of such networks at personal level. We have remained the same, even after we have moved from that time we trained as teachers. I want to say that, sir, connectivity to so many people of the similar training, it helps to grow the industry. I can give an example of where I am here in the valley. I'm looking for someone who understands the languages to a level whereby I can try to travel with her or him abroad for some presentation. But unfortunately, around here, no one is found in such a type of presentations, so that together we can move with such expertise and exposure. So it will mean I have to look maybe elsewhere in the province or elsewhere in the country, so that we move together and be able to share some of the experiences in language teaching. So I encourage us to be exposed. I've learned a lot of things that I can benefit, we can benefit, the country can get benefit from such connectivity. That is my first contribution, Chief. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Doc. Drop your hand. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen, or anyone else?
Mr. Namoya has a hand.
Yes.
Okay, Namoya, Kiki Namoya, go ahead and mute
Yes.
yourself and then video yourself.
Thank you, our presenter. You were very elaborate, and you put in a lot of research, which is quite frightening for some of us to have a lecturer like you. However, it is very encouraging because you are very elaborate. You bring out a lot of examples, and you are exposing some of us young fellows who feel we are like maybe a pure box and you are the .com instead of it being the other way around. I'm really grateful for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiki. Anyone else? Anyone else? If there is no one else to let me, Wendell.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my dear. Share your experience. Connected. And some of us have been looking for this connection.
There is no
Maybe in
connection.
wrong places, right?
The connection is actually in today's presentation, the same one that Mr. Kanyama has just finished doing. I got a scholarship, traveling scholarship. I'm sure most of the people on this platform know it already. For those who know it, they might agree with me by now that
We don't know. Tell us.
it's a UK government scholarship for international students. There are 14 of us this year that have been awarded, 14 Zambians. So now the issue is the scholarship itself is huge on networking. That's why even when I saw it on WhatsApp, what attracted me to join this particular webinar was the word networking. That is why I joined this webinar. It's the networking part that will even make you get this scholarship. If you are closed up, you don't really interact, you don't network, you are less likely to scoop this one. So the traveling scholarship is huge on networking, and if you really need to get it, you really have to network. That way you manage it, because all these forums that Mr. Kanyama talked about is what I used to, because it has to do with essay writing. But then how do you go about those essays? It's not like the essays that we teach in class. They will ask you in a certain way, and what are they looking for? So you find that I was on YouTube channels, I was on all sorts of media to see exactly from the other alumni on what they really did for them to write good essays, for them to nail the interviews. So that's why I feel what got me here is actually the networking. So that's why I even joined this webinar today. It's the networking that attracted me, and it is that networking that will get you to that scholarship. That's the traveling scholarship. So I feel it's a timely advice, timely presentation for people who would want to do this. I mean, they have enough time to prepare for maybe the next application round. So yeah, that is what I would say. People might view networking as just one of those small things, but it's really big, because 1 minute you talk to this person, they will refer you to the next person, and all of a sudden you get what you want. So it's not something small. A lot of people feel I'm like this. I'm not into networking. I'm not. It's just a lie. It's like you're blocking yourself when you don't network. So networking for me has really worked, and it is actually networking that helped me to get this particular award.
Thank you, Rwendo. Very informative. Thanks, I'm impressed. I'm very happy. This networking, this animal code networking, I think it's also about the know-how. Personally, I must confess, I don't know how to network, but I know people use me a lot, and you know, where by virtue of being chief examiner, by virtue of me being connected to British Council, people use me a lot. Before I know it, they have these scholarships and they've gone. Where they've gotten and how, I don't, you know, I don't know. So I think you guys that are out there and have seen the benefits of networking, you need to really come out clearly and show us what, first of all, you begin by defining what is networking, because we also use this term loosely, some of us, you know. What is networking? How does it work? How do we go about it? Maybe to open some of our shallow minds. Yeah. Okay.
Can I say one more thing? I think
Yes.
in his presentation, he actually defined it.
Yeah,
He actually said interactions. Now, those interactions are not just at random. There has to be mutual benefit. Both parties should benefit. It's not a relationship where one benefits, you're giving information one-sided, the other person is not giving. I remember at some point he said, you are free to pull out from such a network. It has to be a network where both of you are contributing, both parties are benefiting. That's what networking is about. It shouldn't be one-sided. When it's one-sided, then it's not good enough.
Okay. Well spoken, Wendo. But people benefit from me. I don't benefit from them.
Loud.
Eh? George will attest to that. Yeah?
We shall have to check it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's give or take. Give and take, actually. It's give and take. Yeah, so, but interactions usually start from, you have to be strategic, starting from, it starts from the departmental room. It goes to the staff room. Then you go to the inter-school. You need to, because if you have a goal, you are the one who will know where do I go to have this goal met, okay? And it will be easier to meet your alike in the goal, and then you pursue it together. So it's, my networking started, I think, in when did I LATAS things? I think I started getting involved with LATAS matters in 2014. My network peaked to grow in 2018, like 4 years later. Okay, so from 2018 up to now, okay, it's been growing at least from 2018, but it sometimes takes long, but sometimes for some people it takes less time. But you need to value the networks that you have, starting at the near personal level, starting from the department and other institutions that you work with, include ECZ and British Council.
All right. Okay, thanks, George. Anyone else before we close? Okay. I think once more, let me just thank George and everyone else that attended this meeting. It was indeed, like I said, an eye-opener. And let's continue interacting and networking. Networking.
Yes.
I think this will take us a long way. Does age matter? Some of us are joining the afternoons.
For the Chevening scholarship, there is no age limit.
Oh,
No.
so I should go and do my another master's degree. Okay, right. I think we've come to the end.
They do sponsor for you. So
Sorry?
look out for common.
Hello?
I was saying, you look out for Commonwealth. Commonwealth, they sponsor PhD.
Yes, I really want to do my PhD.
Mm.
Yeah, and also I must confess, I think some of us, it has taken us this long because George, you remember, even my master's I had to sponsor myself. I think the attitude that I must confess, I'm one person who would see these, George would send me, Chief, try this. I look at it and say, such things don't work and throw it away. You know, I think with this presentation, we need to change, I need to change my mindset. Yeah, I've now seen through Lwendo, through George, that is, so it is workable. For me, I've always taken it, these things don't work, it's for social media, whatever. Yeah, right.
Next time it
So,
will be you and I.
sorry?
The next time, next year, it will be you and I.
We should go in.
Yes.
I think so. We will use Lwendo and the George to help us network and be connected. Yeah. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I think indeed, once more, let me thank George for this wonderful presentation. Next Sunday, we continue. We'll let you know of the topic and the present. By the way, those of you that are in the meeting right now, anyone who would want to do a presentation next Sunday, we have a pending presentation on report writing. Anyone who would want to take up that one? Or a topic of their choice. Anyone who would want to give us a presentation on a topic of their choice, as long as they clear it with me beforehand. Anyone?
Can't we get back to you during the week?
Get back to me during the week. I believe in the timelines. The week up to when? Because if we leave it open to get back to me during the week, people can get back to me on Saturday or even Sunday itself. So can we give ourselves a timeline as to when people can get back to me? Brenda, do you have something in mind which you would like to work on?
Not really, but unless I think of something, that's why I can't really say right now, because I would want to have something and then I tell you to say I am ready for it.
Okay. If you worked with me, would you be ready for Sunday?
I think so.
What would be an area of interest? That's the starting point.
Honestly, for now, I don't have anything like ready. I think
No,
I'll work
what I
with
mean is
anything.
not necessarily ready, but what would be your area of interest, which you and I now in the sidelines can work, either work out a topic and then start assembling things. What is your area of interest? Is it a topic in language? Is it a topic in literature? Is it just a general topic about teaching and the way today's presentation was? What would be your area of interest so that already we can start thinking along those lines together?
Wow, putting you on the spot.
Okay, let's talk on the sidelines.
Okay, yeah, that would be
presentation.
better. That would be better.
Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, anybody else who would want to come in? James Tsenga,
Yes, Chief.
and video yourself.
I can't where I am.
Huh?
I can't where I am, sorry.
Where are you? You're in the bush.
Well, I'm just in a community.
Oh, yeah, even bushes nowadays have community. Okay, James, would you want to give us something next Sunday?
Next Sunday, like Irwendo said, maybe let me also think of something. I try to work something out. I can still.
Do you have my number?
0978.
Do you have my number?
No, I don't.
Which group do you belong to where I am?
I don't know. You are with the Southern Latas. I'm Southern Latas. I think we meet there.
Which Southern Latas? Because there are so many Southern Latas. Okay, get my number. Let's talk on the sidelines soon after this.
I'm ready.
0977
Yes.
67 15 56.
56. Okay. Thank you very much.
67 15 56. That's my WhatsApp line. Please, let's Patrick.
Yes, Chief.
Do you have something that you would want to share with us next Sunday?
For me, I think I'll follow what Mr. Shinyama said. I'm still new in the group. I'm observing, and when the time comes, I'll let you know, Chief. But thanks for the gesture.
Okay, what do you mean you are new in the? You've been a teacher for many years, longer than me. So, what do you mean you are new in the? All right, noted, Patrick.
This first time to this webinar. This could be the first time.
Yes, it is.
Join us for webinar series.
The others have just been watching after they've passed, but this is the first time I'm participating live.
Okay, there's always a first time, eh?
Thanks, Chief.
Yuris Kasozwe. Yuris? Is it Oris? Pardon my pronunciation. Unmute yourself and then video yourself.
Yes, Chief.
Yes, dear.
Yes, I'm following.
Okay, I want you to stop following and so that we follow you now. Are you ready for Sunday?
Like you said, we get in touch on the side. The
You
other
have my
side.
number. You have my
I
number.
don't.
You don't?
No, I don't.
So when I was
No.
giving James, you didn't take note of it.
I didn't know you'd mention me. Okay, kindly give it to me.
I'm mentioning everyone
Kindly
else
give
here.
it to me.
0977
77
67
67 15. Another 1 5, you mean?
1556.
Hello?
67 1556.
67 15 56.
Correct.
Okay. Noted,
I will-
Chief. We'll get in touch.
Okay, where are you based? You don't sound
Mazabuka,
like you're from the
Kawanga
bush.
Secondary.
Huh?
Mazabuka Kawanga Secondary.
Oh, you are with my brothers. I
Yes.
have 2 brothers in Mazabuka.
Oh,
Yeah. Right. My phone CC9E.
Hello, Chief.
Yes, who is this? Yes, my
Carol.
phone. Huh?
Hello, Chief.